All right, so I'm going to go over how to do a sales CMA. So we have a property that we manage that is looking to potentially sell. And so the first thing I always do in this case is I go to the property itself on Appfolio, or sometimes we get outside owners whose properties we don't manage. So if you do get that, you just want to go onto Alachua Tax Parcels website, which I've shown before, and you just look up their address to get the property information, like the square footage and the community name. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. So I'm here on tax parcel. I'm just pretending that we don't manage this property. Okay, so if I go on here, I search it. Sorry. Okay, so if I go on here, I search it, I see that it's in the Woodside Villas community. It looks like it is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom with 1,070 square feet. So what I would do is I'd go onto your MLS and you're going to go to your homepage. So normally your homepage looks like this. You're going to click on My Matrix or just hover over it. You don't have to click it. And this drop box will pop down. So you're going to click My CMAs. And you are going to start a new CMA down here on this button. Under the contact name, I always put the owner's name, but under email, I put my own email because I don't want the owner receiving a bunch of information that they don't need. So in this case, I know the owner's name is Jamie Mulford, so I put his name there, but I just I put my name, or I'm sorry, my email address here. Under salutation, I put hi Jamie, so that it's more, I guess, informal. And so I'd click save here. And then you're going to see these different tabs. So you're going to start here under pages. Over here, I already have mine set up, but you definitely want to make sure there's different things you can add to your CMA. So I always include a cover sheet, a summary list, price adjustments, minimums and maximums, side by side, list price and sale price chart, setting the price, effect over pricing, and a CMA map. So you want to make sure that yours, I believe these are automatically added, but it's always good to check. Then you're going to go back up here. You're going to click on subject. I always do it by the realist tax, which is, again, it auto fills it by the tax parcel. So you can actually get the tax parcel ID right from that Alachua tax parcel website, or you can just type in the address here, but you just gotta make sure you're typing it all correctly. So, and then I click here under county, I click it's under Alachua County, and down here I click on results, and it should pop up. So here it is. This is the property. Make sure the address matches with the tax parcel ID. You're going to check this off and you're going to click fill from selected. Okay, so now it automatically filled out a lot of the information for us. So that makes it really helpful. Up here, I'm going to just come on over. You can put a cover photo over here by clicking browse if you want to put a photo. I'm going to jump over to comparables. So this is the most important. This is where we actually find the properties we're going to compare it to. So I'm going to click down here, add from listings. And now I'm going to search. I'd prefer to search for closed properties. I always do in the last like 300 days. Preferably 180 days is more preferred, just depending on how many listings you get. Really, again, the past 6 months are most important. And then down here, I'm going to put Woodside Villas. So you can search for properties in different ways. You can either put the community name. If it's in a community that doesn't have a lot of listings, you can go up here and do a map search for other properties and then type the address here, like maybe within a 2-mile radius of the property address, things like that. You can really try different ways to try to find properties that are similar to it. Map search, again, is probably going to be your best bet for more of the single family homes. This is a condo, so usually with condos you get more listings in that community, so you can usually just directly search for that community. But if it's a single family home, you might have to do like a 2 mile radius of the home's address and then search that way to try to find out, and you can even do the square footage, maybe do like you can do a range. So again, this property has around 1,000 square feet. So I might do like 200 below and 200 above. So if it has 1,000 square feet, I'm looking for 800 to 1,200. Again, just, different things you can do to try to find properties that are really, really similar to it. You can do by year built. Again, you can do a range if you're looking for homes built between 1990 and 2000. Um, you can do acreage if you're looking at properties that have larger acreage, like a 3 acre property. Maybe you'd want to do 1 to 2 acres, 2 to 5 acres, and 5 to 10. So there's different things you can do just to be able to try to sort it by properties that are similar to your subject property, because ideally you want to find properties that are as similar as possible. So right now we've pulled up 4 properties, so I'm going to just click on that. And I click the search button, and these are 4 properties, so it's perfect. We actually have, they're all the same exact type of property. Again, our subject property had 1070 square feet, and all of these comparable properties also have 1070 square feet. This seems to be an outlier because I'm looking at the prices here. I see that they're between 145 and 150. You have this one for 170. So usually when I see something that's way above the others, I'm assuming that either it's really updated or again, maybe it just sold during a fluke, maybe during a busier time or whatever it might be. This is a pretty updated property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at photos of our property to see, is it as updated? I'm looking at it here. I would say, it's fairly updated, but definitely has outdated countertops, outdated cabinets. Flooring is actually updated. Bathrooms don't look updated. They actually look pretty outdated, especially the vanities. So again, if I use this, normally you want to get 3 comparable properties minimum, always 3 properties that you want to use. I probably won't use this one because this one's much more updated. If I did use this one, I would definitely make adjustments, and I'll show you how to do adjustments in a second. But I would adjust, maybe like 10,000 for the kitchen being more updated, especially like, if you want to get specific, maybe countertops like 7,500, cabinets maybe another 2,500, or maybe 5,000, 5,000. Flooring, I normally do adjust for about 5,000. Same with paint, usually 5,000 and 7,500. If it has a garage and our comparable property doesn't, or vice versa, a garage is worth probably around 10 to 15,000. So, you definitely want to make sure you're adjusting for things. So if the comparable property is more updated than your property, then you want to do a negative adjustment. So again, if the property sold for 170, but you feel like your property doesn't have as updated of a kitchen, then under the comparable property, let's say you do negative minus 10,000, that brings your comparable property down to 160 instead of 170. So I'll show that in a second. But for now, I'm going to look through these 3. I actually already was looking through these before. So I'm going to do these 3 here. That's a pretty outdated one. I'll do this one's a good one. Compared to ours, I feel it's very similar. And then this one again, also very, very similar to ours. So again, really just look at the photos. And if it's for single family homes, it takes a little bit more work. You actually have to go into these properties, see what kind of differences they have to your subject property. Again, is there a garage? Is there a bigger yard? Whatever it might be, you're going to look for those. And then you're going to click Add Selected once you have your comps. You don't really need to work on map. You can just go right to adjustments up here under the tab. And this is where you can adjust. So again, this one that sold for 150, I saw that it had outdated flooring. So again, I would probably adjust like 5,000. So when the comparable property is more outdated than your property, then you do positive 5,000. When a property is more updated than your subject property, then you do negative 5,000. So again, the adjustment is positive when when the property you're looking at is less updated than your property, and it's negative when it's more updated than your property. So that was the only one I really saw that had, I'd probably also do like 2,500, or yeah, I'll do 2,500 for the paint as well. Some of the rooms on this property didn't look as nice as far as the paint. Um, Again, it just looked more outdated to me. So those are the comps I made, and I always put a note down here. So I adjusted 5,000 for comp having outdated flooring and 2,500 for comp having outdated paint. Then once you're done, again, I already looked at these earlier, but you definitely want to take your time with this, look through this thoroughly, make sure you understand the comps, and then you're going to go here. When you're done, click Finish, click View CMA. Taking a little bit of time here. In the meantime, what I'll do is I'll go to the Sales folder. So under Teams, you're going to go to Sales, you're going to go to Files, you're going to go down to CMAs completed. This is where you're going to upload this report. So I'm going to save this report. I always save it as the owner's last name, Mulgal, and the property name, Mulgal Q107, CMA. And then I'm going to go here to Teams. I'm going to upload it. And before I send it to the owner, I always like to send it to Tanya so she can take a look as well. And I give her a little, looks like he actually had one previously because I think he thought about selling it before. So what I'll do is then I'll go to Tanya's email and I'll put a little summary of what I'm looking at. So in this case, hey Tanya, I have completed a CMA for this property. I did adjust one of the more outdated comps by 7,500 due to it having multicolored walls and outdated flooring. And then you can find where your property should list here. So it's saying that it should list around 150 to, I always like to go on the high end, the average to high end. Right now, we're not in a super busy season. So I would say probably and you always want to give enough room to negotiate, because if we list it from let's say 159, there's a pretty good chance we'll get an offer closer to like 155-ish. So again, it gives us room to negotiate, and we always let owners know that too, so they can be prepared to accept a lower offer. So it's always good to list a little bit higher, but be prepared to accept lower. Um, Based on the CMA, this home should list around 155 to 159K, to allow room for negotiation. This places it around, and I always like to give the price per square foot. So if I list it for 159, oops, that's 148 per square foot. So before I send this, I'm just going to wrap up this video. So this video is just basically going over the CMA process. I will make another video that goes over the rest of the listing process. I know I've gone over how to list a property in MLS, but there's of course other steps like sending the owner the contract via dot loop. So I'd like to do this one on a step-by-step. If this owner wants to continue with selling, I'll make a video on that as well. Otherwise, I'll just use a random example afterwards.